So it has finally happened. The CPSC has finally sent a warning about the Onewheel. Now, some people will say it's been a long time coming, but some people like myself think that it's unfair. I think before we go through this, it's important to understand what they are warning of. So they are warning off the Onewheel being an ejection hazard, meaning it throws off the rider, and that at least 4 deaths and multiple injuries were reported. When they say it's an ejection hazard, it's likely that they are referring to the what we one-wheelers call as nosedives. To understand what a nosedive is, need a bit of a physics lesson. So the Onewheel, in essence, is a inverted pendulum. You have the Onewheel, which is your hand, and you, the rider, which is this drumstick. The one that keeps you in balance by moving you around. Now the thing is, so if you're gonna fall this way, the Onewheel will move forward so that it counters your movement. So, what happens when you go too fast? When you ride the Onewheel, when you want to move one way, you lean that way. When you lean that way, the Onewheel will try to move that way to catch you. Now, if you lean further, the Onewheel will start leaning further and it will need to go faster to catch you. But like any other electric motor, it can only go so fast. It only has so much power. And eventually it will run out. So if you go too fast, it won't have enough power to catch you, so eventually it will just nosedive and throw you off. So right now, when it comes to nosedives, the things that people are throwing around, like the Onewheel should have a speed limit, it doesn't work, because if you have a speed limit, you move forward, the Onewheel just won't accelerate, and then it's the same thing. You just get thrown off. Now the Onewheel has a safety feature called pushback. What it does is, if you go lean forward too much, it moves forward. It tries to lift the nose up by moving forward faster. So it's kind of weird feeling, because it sort of accelerates you. It starts lifting the footpad, and if you're not experienced enough, your first impulse is to think that I am being thrown backwards, so I'm gonna lean forward harder. If you don't know what pushback feels like, or what pushback means, then yes, you will fall. And then there's also the issue about battery level and terrain. It's a self-balancing board, so any irregularities in the terrain, maybe you're going uphill. If you're going uphill, it's going to need more power to move forward, and therefore need more power to keep you upright. So you can nosedive earlier at a lower speed, or if maybe your battery is not fully charged, battery sag would come into play, and the board might not have enough power to keep you upright. But that's the thing. When you ride these boards, there's a certain amount of understanding that you need to have about these things. None of the PEVs are safe. So I do think that this is unfair, because a lot, maybe a majority of the nosedives I've heard of, that I've known of or have seen, have been user error. There are a few instances where a nosedive was caused by a hardware fault. Maybe a motor controller was loose, or a battery went bad, or the ESC has gone bad. But those are rare. Most of the nosedives that I have seen or read about come from user error. Sometimes the user doesn't want to admit it, but hey, it is user error. Now the issue with the Onewheel, though, is that would have probably sparked this was the recent ghosting issue of the Onewheel GT. There have been numerous reports where the Onewheel GT, with its newly designed concave footpad, would remain engaged even after you get off. So if when you get off the Onewheel, it's gonna think that you're leaning backwards, so it's going to try to move away and level off. And if there's no one there, it's just gonna keep going forward at a very, very high speed. Yeah, and There have been instances where there have been property damage and maybe some injuries due to ghosting. But that is not related to the nosedive issue. The thing is, I think the CPSC is overreaching here. It's kind of like banning bicycles because people got injured over bicycles when they maybe leaned too far to one side and fell off the bicycle or motorcycle. Which comes to a reaction that actually I'm frankly surprised that some people in the community reacted this way, because I was looking at the Onewheels subreddits, and I was pretty surprised by some of the posts by some people here. They're saying that Future Motion had it coming, which yeah, maybe I agree, and that since they haven't been treating their customers well, that maybe they deserve this and that they are not worth fighting for. The thing is, at this point, we are not going to be fighting for Future Motion. We're going to be fighting for other PEVs. This same CPSC memo would apply to PEVs like electric unicycles, maybe even eskate. It's so broad, there's nothing, they don't present anything technical about it. They don't explain why it happens, or what has been going wrong that would cause this. It's so broad. They can technically throw any PEV in here and say it's dangerous. So is Future Motion worth fighting for? That's debatable, maybe. But I think at this point, we should resist this for the sake of all other PEVs. We also have to note that around the Onewheel, there's a whole ecosystem of other small businesses that rely on this product success in order to succeed. So it's not just Future Motion that you're giving the finger up to by not supporting this. You're also doing it to those other companies. And some of those companies are really nice. The Float Life, Craft and Ride. Those are really good companies, and they really do care for their customers. And it's not going to be nice to see them suffer because people have have bad feelings toward Future Motion. So what do we do now? Now there is a link on the Onewheel Instagram page. It's surveymonkey.com/r/letusride. It's basically a form that lets you reach out to the CPSC and tell them why the Onewheel is important to you and why you think the Onewheel doesn't deserve this banning. Please fill up that form, submit it, and hopefully the CPSC would change their minds about this, would reverse their decision, or at least focus on the real issue of the Onewheel, which is the right to repair and ghosting. Lastly, what else can you do? I'm going to dive into a controversial topic, but one that I feel very strongly about. I am very safety oriented. You will see me when I ride. I always wear a helmet and gloves at the very minimum. I don't usually ask people to wear helmets directly, or I don't like acting like the helmet police in forums and stuff. But I think this does kind of show that we really do need to protect ourselves, wear helmets, wear pads, because these vehicles can be deadly if you fall the wrong way, even if you're just going really slow. Now, yes, I understand the sentiment that it's your safety, it's yourself, you will ride the way you want to. It's a risk you are willing to take. But that risk you are willing to take affects others. Like, those 4 deaths, I think there were like 2 or 3 of those, were confirmed to have no helmets. Maybe they would have survived had they been wearing helmets. We don't know that. But because of those 4 deaths, the CPSC has an excuse to send this notice. Even though it's not an outright ban of the Onewheel, It's now going up on TV. It's being posted everywhere. When people see these one wheels, these electric skateboards, those unicycles out there in public, they're just gonna lump it all in the same place. In the same way that all of these, the skateboards and the one wheels, some people all call them hoverboards, even though they're not hoverboards. And the only thing that people would think is that these are unsafe. These should be banned. And at a period where we're all trying to promote the sport, promote these modes of transport as viable alternative means of getting around and going from one place to the next, it's just not good. So, yes, please ride responsibly, wear protective gear, and try to fill out the form for the CPSC with future motion. Yeah. So, yeah, thank you for watching this rant. I just feel strongly about it, and I thought I'd post about it. So, yeah, ride safe, everyone, and thanks for watching.